Well, this here is the Land Rover Discovery Sport. Officially, it's a 7-seater premium SUV which takes on the likes of the BMW X5, the Mercedes GLC as well as the Audi Q5. But the big question is that what gives this car the edge over its other rivals? That's the question we'll answer by the end of this video review. But before that, let me just make a small request. Please do follow me on Instagram. My handle is AshishMasi1. It's flashing below your screen. And of course, if you help me improve my followers, then car manufacturers will think that I've become very influential and they'll send all these cars to me much more faster than they do. Thanks for watching. Well, so as soon as you get inside the Land Rover Discovery Sport, you will realize that the layout and the dashboard design is very minimalistic. It's a very simple design, but that's not to say that it looks outdated. It's a very calm and very sophisticated cabin. There's a very legible center console which really does separate both the occupants in the front, so you know that you're sitting in a car which has separate spaces for both occupants in the front. And what you like is the amount of storage places on offer, because this car has not one, not two, but a very large place where you can keep 3 or 4 bottles in the door bins. The big box here also is large enough to keep a couple of cell phones as well as the wallet. The glove box also is of a decent shape and size, and there's also place here, there's a tray where you can keep a lot of stuff, and you also get a couple of charging points, one here and of course a couple of them inside over here. So it is a very nice place in terms of utility. What it's also nice about is the comfort. The seat comfort is excellent, and I would stretch out my neck and say that the seats on the Discovery Sport are by far much better than all its other rivals. You get excellent support for your under thighs, excellent support for your lower back, and once you sit inside this car, you really will come out of it in the same refreshed manner as when you started off the journey. And so overall, I'll give the cabin of this car a very strong score of 8 out of 10. Well, so here I'm in the back seat of the Land Rover Discovery Sport. As you can see, knee room is more than sufficient. It's a very roomy car at the back. Headroom is also very good, and my height for reference is 5'10". So if you're about even 6'1", 6'2", you should be quite okay in these seats for both knee room as well as for headroom. It's a very open cabin, and you also get this huge panoramic sunroof which gives you the sense of airiness, and especially if the weather is as good as it is today, it's rainy, then you'll really enjoy keeping this up and open. Now the floorboard has a small hump in it. It's not a very huge hump, so you can easily accommodate the feet of whoever's sitting in the middle. It's a genuine 3-seat at the back, and of course, as I had taken out the armrest, you can do that and keep a couple of beverage holders, and you can also hide away your expensive wallet over here in case you don't want your kids to do some shopping on their own. You also get your own AC vents which have a very strong flow of air. So overall, what I'm trying to say is that the back seat of the Land Rover Discovery Sport is an excellent place to be in, and if you are someone who simply buys his car to be in the back seat, you'll enjoy the experience over here. Now remember, this is a 5+2 7-seater. It's actual. Remember, this is a 7-seater car, but in honesty, it's more like a 5+2-seater, because the 2 seats at the back, they're only good enough for kids. They do aid utility as well as practicality by a bit, because its other rivals don't have that option of 7 seats, but they're best left for kids as well as teenagers. I will not get in them and show them to you because that will look very ungraceful, and it'll give you ammunition to write in the comments below. Well, so as you can see, the space inside here on the boot is impressive. It's a very wide boot, and there's absolutely no loading sill, so you can easily slide in and out those big bags that you'll of course be bringing from the airport. And this space is very good with the last row down, but even if you pull up the seats over here, even then there's a decent space to keep at least a couple of big bags or maybe a couple of small bags and sit over here and enjoy a cup of chai and enjoy the weather like I am today. Well, so here I am driving the Land Rover Discovery Sport, and this car, remember, comes with a 2-liter diesel engine. Yes, there's a diesel which is powering it, but you would be very hard pressed to tell if it's a diesel or a petrol. It is a very refined car. In fact, it's a whole lot more refined than all its other main rivals. It is really that good in terms of refinement department. In fact, I had some occupants in the back, and they couldn't believe that it's a diesel. They really felt as if I'm pulling their leg. The refinement levels on this car are so good and so generous that occupants will not be able to tell what kind of fuel is powering it. Now, what the occupants will also not be able to tell is what kind of road you're driving on, because the suspension on this car is sublime. It will simply eat up all the badly patched up roads. It will simply eat them up for breakfast, and people in the car won't be able to tell the kind of bad surface they're driving on. They'll feel as if the surfacing on the roads has been really improved, as the surfacing has become magical, and as if the roads that you're driving on are truly world-class roads. But in honesty, it's not the roads which have been improved. It really is the car which is delivering that kind of performance, because the ride comfort and the suspension setting on this car is excellent. And no matter what kind of speeds you're doing, you might be doing slow city speeds, you might be doing really fast highway speeds, this car will feel as stable and as rock solid as a diamond ring will on someone's hand once you give that to them, and it'll be as safe as a Swiss bank account and as sturdy as that. It really is an excellent product, and one which I have truly enjoyed driving around town today, and even on the occasional highway trip when you take it, you'll really enjoy it. Now, what also aids the overall refinement of this engine is the excellent gearbox. It's a 9-speed unit, it's an automatic unit, and it's a very quick responding gearbox. No matter how you drive it, you might drive it in full automatic mode, or you might want to change gears using the flappy pedals here. In both modes, it's a very quick-witted gearbox. It really does change gears very quickly, and there's absolutely no lag between the time you hit this pedal here and when the gears actually change. So it is a very responsive gearbox as well, and one which will truly enjoy using. Now, another thing which is great on this car is the overall isolation from the outside. The noise is completely isolated because the cabin is very well insulated, and it is a great car to be driving around in chaotic traffic, because you can't really hear the honking around. Of course you can hear it, I'm exaggerating a bit, but you can hear a very low volume of the honking outside. And of course those diesel buses as well as all the other transportation outside is a distant murmur. There's absolutely no engine noise, there's no tire noise, there's virtually no wind noise as well, even when you are doing speeds in excess of 100 kph. So it is an excellent car for cocooning yourself from the world outside. And as I just said, overall I'm delighted to drive this car. It's got a very crisp steering wheel as well. It is one of the sharpest steering wheels that you drive on an SUV, as good as any BMW car, which really is the benchmark in the segment. But it can take on the BMW X3 for sheer steering responsiveness. Well, so overall, the Discovery Sport comes across as a nice mix of all its other rivals. It's good to drive like a BMW, it's great to sit in like a Mercedes, and it's very refined like an Audi. And what I'm essentially trying to say is that this car is greater than the sum of its parts, and you should definitely consider it and put it in your shortlist if you're in the market for this kind of a luxury SUV. It's bye for now, and hope to see you soon.